Hello students, in this video I will be going through evaluating expressions with rational exponents. So first off, my apologies on the instructions here for this exercise. What would be more appropriate is for the instructions to state evaluate the following expressions whenever possible. So yes, we are going to be simplifying, but also more importantly, I believe the real act here is to evaluate. Like, let's determine what is 81 to the 1/2 power. So what is this? This is the same thing as taking the square root, right? 81 to the 1/2 is equivalent to 9 squared to the 1/2, or really this is equivalent to 9. Okay? 64 to the 1/2, well, that's just 8 then, right? Isn't that? So 8 squared to the 1/2 is equivalent to 8. Here we go. 10,000 to the 1/4. What is 10,000 to the 1/4? Well, 10,000 to the 1/4 is equivalent to 10 to the 4th to the 1/4, which is just 10. All right. 36 to the 3/2. Here we go. This is where things get a little more interesting. 36 to the 3/2 is equivalent to 36 to the 1/2 to the 3rd. And I know what 36 to the 1/2 is because I know what 6 squared is. 6 squared is 36. So therefore, 36 to the 1/2 is really just 6. So therefore, my final answer is simply 6 to the 3rd. And 6 to the 3rd, what is exactly 6 to the 3rd? I'm not really sure what 6 to the 3rd is. 36 times 6 again, what would that be? Let me take out the calculator here. 36 times 6, that would be 216. Okay. So this is 216. The noise that you're hearing in the background, that's my dog. So, all right. So then the next one here, number 9. All right, 81 to the 3/2. Here we go. This is equivalent to 81 to the 1/2 to the 3rd. This would be 9 to the 3rd. And what exactly is 9 to the 3rd? That would be 81 times 3, that would be 729. And moving on, 81 to the negative 3/2 is equivalent to 1 over 81 to the 3/2. And we just figured out 81 to the 3/2, didn't we? So it's 1 over 729. Alright, here we go. 243 to the 3/5. This is equivalent to 243 to the 1/5 to the 3rd. And what exactly is 243 to the 1/5? 243 to the 1/5. 243 to the 1/5. I'm going to guess it's 3 to the 5th is 243. I'm just going to confirm that. Let's see here. 243 to the power of 1/5 is in fact 3. And then all of that to the 3rd power. So this reduces to 3 to the 3rd, or it's 27. All right, 216 to the 1/3. 216 to the 1/3, that's just 6 to the 3rd to the 1/3, or it's just 6. Here we go, 64a to the 6 to the negative half. So remember, power rule, right? So this would be 8, I'm sorry, this would be 64 to the negative half, a to the negative 3. And 64 to the negative half, that's 1 over 64 to the 1/2 times 1 over a to the third. And 64 to the 1/2 is 1/8, so it's 1 over 8a to the third. Number 19, 81m to the fourth to the 3/2 is equivalent to 81 to the 3/2 m to the 6th. And 81 to the 3/2 is 9 to the third, right? Or 7/20. Here, I'll work it out again. So it's 81 to the 1/2 to the third. So this is 9 to the third, m to the 6th. Or it's 729 m to the 6th. All right, moving on. b to the 12 to the 3/4 is equivalent to b to the 12 times 3/4. And that would be b to the 9th. (64n squared to the 3/2 is 64 to the 3/2 times n to the third. 64 to the 3/2 is 8 to the third. Here, 64 to the 1/2 to the third. This would be 8 to the third, n to the third. And what exactly is 8 to the third? 64, 8 to the third, 512. N to the third. 16 r's to the 6 to the 3/2. 16 to the 3/2. R to the 9th, because 6 times 3/2 is 9. And 16 to the 1/2 to the power of 3. That would be 4 to the power of 3. And 4 to the power of 3 is 64. Final answer, 64r to the 9th. I believe that's it.